Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here with us at this late hour. This is a special media briefing on the occasion of the 21st India-Russia Annual Summit, for which the President of Russia, His Excellency Mr. Vladimir Putin, is here in New Delhi. In fact, the talks are going on still as we speak, but given the lateness of the hour, we thought we would have an interaction with you. For this, we're really privileged to have with us Shri Harshvardhan Shringla, Foreign Secretary, sir, from the Ministry of External Affairs. We are also joined with us by our ambassador to the Russia, Shri Pavan Kapoor, on my right here. We also have on my left Dr. Adarsh Swaika, Joint Secretary in the Eurasia Division of the Ministry. I would request Foreign Secretary, sir, to say a few initial words and then we'll open it up for some questions.
Namaskar and good evening, and thank you for bearing with us so late in the evening. We wanted to make sure that the talks were concluded before we started our briefing. As you know, the President of the Russian Federation, His Excellency Mr. Vladimir Putin, is on a brief working visit to India. He is here in the context of the 21st India-Russia Annual Summit. As you're aware, this is President Putin's second visit out of Russia since the COVID pandemic began. The only other visit he has undertaken was a brief visit to Geneva for the Russia-US summit that he had with President Biden. The fact that President Putin has decided to visit India for our annual summit exceptionally is an indication of the importance he attaches to the bilateral relationship and, of course, his personal rapport with Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji. You're also aware that President Putin had conferred Russia's highest civilian award on the Prime Minister in 2019. The visit of President Putin is short, but nonetheless highly productive, highly substantive. There were excellent discussions between the two leaders, and much of this will be reflected in the outcome document that is expected to be issued shortly. The visit concluded in a joint statement titled India-Russia Partnership for Peace, Progress and Prosperity. The joint statement captures the state and future potential of our relationship. In all, a record number of 28 agreements or MOUs were concluded during this visit. These agreements were both government to government as well as business to business, including involving our public sector units in both countries. The agreements cover a very wide range of sectors, including trade, energy, culture, intellectual property, accountancy, cyber attacks in the banking sector, manpower, geological exploration, survey, education, etc. India and Russia have also signed a program of cooperation in the field of defense for the next 10 years, 2021 to 2031. The diversity of agreements and MOUs signed today shows the multifaceted nature of our bilateral partnership. We will be sharing the joint statement and the list of agreements concluded with you shortly. The Prime Minister and President Putin held in-depth discussions on strengthening our bilateral and multilateral cooperation in the spirit of our special and privileged strategic partnership. Both leaders noted that the extent of our bilateral cooperation in fighting the COVID pandemic was significant, in particular in the areas of vaccines and humanitarian assistance. It would be recalled that fairly early in the COVID pandemic, India had supplied COVID-related medicines to 25 regions and over 60 hospitals of Russia. In the same spirit of solidarity, Russia supported our efforts to fight the second wave of the pandemic. You will also recall that President Putin spoke to Prime Minister Modi on the 28th of April this year, after which there was extensive Russian support and solidarity in the form of the supply of concentrators, medicines, and so on and so forth. Prime Minister thanked President Putin for the welfare of the Indian community in Russia especially during the COVID pandemic, particularly for the 15,000 Indian students resident in Russia. Both leaders discussed the need for mutual recognition of vaccine certification to enable easier travel of our citizens to each other's countries. The enhancing bilateral trade and investments figured prominently in the talks. This year we have noticed an encouraging trend of growth in our trade compared to last year, when there was a downturn owing to the COVID pandemic. Obviously, I think both sides are looking forward to continued increase in the trade and investment trajectory. Some very ambitious targets have been set, and we are, I think, well on our way to achieving those both in the trade and investment side. There was talk of how to enhance our trade and economic cooperation, including through long-term procurement of essential commodities, elimination of trade barriers, strengthening inter-regional linkages, bolstering connectivity, including through the international north-south transport corridor and the Chennai-Vladivostok Eastern Maritime Corridor. These two initiatives are very important and special initiatives. We're happy to speak more about them as we have an interactive session following this statement. Also, on the trade and investment side, I think there are some very specific plans which include long-term cooperation in the areas of inland waterways, civilian shipbuilding, fertilizer, coking coal, steel, skilled manpower. Essentially, what we are looking at is long-term arrangements whereby some of the essential commodities that we need from Russia are available on some sort of arrangement that could be to our mutual benefit. Cooperation in coking coal, for example, has emerged as an important area of cooperation. In the last few years, we have supplied an MOU. We have signed an MOU in October with Russia for coking coal for the steel making industry in India. We have recently entered into short-term contracts for fertilizers. We are looking at long-term arrangements in both these areas, including also in other areas of energy that is of interest to both sides. There was a discussion on follow-up to cooperation in the Russian Far East. You will recall that Prime Minister had visited Vladivostok in 2009 for the last annual summit, where he was also guest of honor at the Eastern Economic Forum in Vladivostok. We know that a delegation from the government of Gujarat is now is visiting Russia in order to invite the governors of the Russian Far East for the Vibrant Gujarat Summit in January 2022. There are a number of other areas of cooperation there which are progressing, and I think the leaders had opportunity to take stock of that. There was also discussion in detail about our cooperation in the strategic area of energy. As you know, we are already importing crude oil, and we have a long-term contract for gas supplies with Russia. I think we have expressed interest in further investments in the oil and gas sectors in each other's countries, as well as in the area of petrochemicals.